Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. And if you're joining me on the YouTube channel, like, subscribe. I want to start by congratulating Aaron Judge. He hit his 60-second, 67 would be phenomenal too, but obviously. He hit a 60-second home run. And sidebar, hopefully now we don't have to get cut-ins on him hitting his at-bats at every, turn, because that was awful. And I know what ESPN was trying to do, or a lot of other places were trying to do. But I think the problem with it was that what you're essentially doing is you're kind of making that seem as if it's the real record, and it's not. And so, celebrating it as if it's the overall home run record when it's really just the AL record rings a little hollow. But I do appreciate the fact that Aaron Judge is now the AL home run king. Now, with that being said, I appreciate him for a lot more than just that. Because you have to remember, this is a man who was in a contract year after the team, who I believe drafted him, may not, but they've had him ever since he's been in the big leagues. The team that essentially said you're going to be the future, watched you become the present, and then said, we don't know if you're going to be the future. And this is the part where betting on yourself comes into play. Because there's two layers to betting on yourself, right? The first is you have to know yourself. Right? You have to know yourself. If you know in your heart that you're not somebody that's about that bet on myself life, don't bet on yourself. It's really that simple. Like, if, for instance, if I had a skill, but I knew that my skill wasn't that great, or at least my level at that skill was not great, but somebody wanted to pay me a lot of money for that skill, I wouldn't probably haggle. I wouldn't probably negotiate. You know why? Because it's not that great a skill, and I know it. But if I've got high skill and they want to offer me a lot of money, I might be willing to go, well, who else would want to offer a lot of money for this skill? Because I know at the end of the day, this skill is high. Like, my skill is really high. This is clearly an on-demand skill. That's why they want me to sign. And that's why they want me. And I do it at a high level. I know I do. I might be willing to negotiate harder. I might be willing to turn that deal down in order to show others that I have this skill, because I know it could make me a lot more money on the back end. That's tough. That's difficult. That's betting on yourself. And when you bet on yourself, when you bet on yourself, you have to be willing to lose. When you bet on yourself, you have to be willing to lose. It can't just be a situation where you say, oh, I'm betting on myself, and yet you're not willing to lose. Aaron Judge knew that by betting on himself, there was a chance that he might lose. And if he lost, it was going to mean millions upon millions. This doesn't always work out well. See Isaiah Thomas. They offered him money. He thought he was worth more. He bet on himself. He got hurt. He was never the same. They never really gave him the time to heal. He never took the time to heal. They traded him away. All of a sudden, 2-3 years later, he's barely holding on into the league. Now he's a guy just trying to get back to the league. It doesn't always work out. But for Aaron Judge, he turned that year of them telling them that he wasn't the best player in the league and that he should not be paid like one of the best players in the league, to having a season where he not only leads the league in home runs, is the new AL home run king, but is also in line for the Triple Crown, right? That's all the batting. That's all of the things with the bat in the hand, right? RBI, home run, and batting average. He's in the running for the Triple Crown, which means I'm the best player in baseball. Sorry, Mike Trout. I'm the best player in baseball. Sorry, Juan Gonzalez or whomever you want to, Shohei Ohtani, like Fernando Tatis Jr., Vlad Guerrero Jr., all of the great talents, Giancarlo Stanton, all of the great talents in Major League Baseball. But I'm the best. That's what a Triple Crown means. That's what it means when you are in line for the Triple Crown. That's what it means. Every year, the best player in baseball should be somewhere close to the Triple Crown. They should bat for average. They should hit home runs, right? They should drive runs in. That goes hand in hand. And he did it. And now, on the precipice of playoffs and then off season, he's sitting back as a free agent going, ain't no fun when the rabbits got the gun. Ain't no fun when the rabbits got the gun, because now the Yankees have no leverage. Last year off season, they had leverage. Hey man, you've had a couple injury seasons, and what they do is the organization plus the public and the media will exacerbate the negatives. Well, yeah, and if you're not strong-willed like Judge is, you'll let yourself start to believe what they say. Well, Judge has been injured. Judge has had injuries. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I did have those injuries. Maybe I'm not worth X. Oh, no. The answer to that is everybody gets injured in sports. Everyone gets injured in professional sports. Baseball is a game that you can play longer than any other sport, than any other team sport. Longer than soccer, longer than football, definitely. Longer than basketball, definitely. Except, some of these guys right now, like LeBron and KD, like Melo, they might be changing that narrative. But my point stands. Baseball players, you routinely see bad baseball players have 8 to 10 years careers. Good baseball players, 20-year careers. So injuries become less of a concern because whatever that injury is, you can rehab from it and come back most times. But they'll get you with he's injury prone. Well, he only hits home runs. Well, he doesn't do this. Nope. Aaron Judge does everything. And then he's built like a Greek god. 6'7", 270 some odd pounds. He's built like LeBron James playing baseball. If LeBron James was playing baseball, he would be Aaron Judge. And because LeBron James is out there playing baseball, you got to pay him everything. You got to pay him everything. We, in our lives, should be more like Aaron Judge. There's something in your life right now that you do, and you do it at an extremely high level. And because you do it at an extremely high level, there's somebody somewhere out there willing to pay you like you should be paid, willing to pay you like you deserve to be paid. They're not giving you anything that you don't deserve. You're getting what your expertise says you should have. And in that expertise, you have to be willing to bet on yourself. You have to be willing to say, hey, I'll make this right now because I'm going to make that later. I do this Talk Spicy podcast every morning. I don't make much money off this podcast. But you know what? I know that I have a voice. I know that I have a voice. I know that people are drawn to it. I know that I have opinions that are contrary, that make people think, that says, oh, I might not agree with them, but I want to think about the way he thinks about it. I know I'm not just another in a long line. And so I'm willing to bet on myself. I'm willing to say, hey, we are on episode 259, and people are noticing. And at some point, this thing's going to pop, right? That's the confidence that I have to have in myself as a voice. When I decided that I was really going to go hardcore into this sports landscape, I don't do anything half-heartedly. I don't coach half-heartedly. I don't teach half-heartedly. And I don't come on here and talk to you about sports or write about sports half-heartedly. I'm not just doing it for a check. I actually get in trouble with editors all the time for that. Because I can't just crank out a frivolous story. I can't do a frivolous 500 words. Those 500 words, when they have by Gene Clemens on it, they're going to mean something. They're going to have some value. When you read it, you're not going to read it and go, that was just some fluff. That could have been said in a tweet. No. Because I know my value, I'm willing to play the long game. I can write until I die. There's no expiration date on me getting to the level that I want to be in sports journalism. There's no reason for me to rush. Aaron Judge believed in himself, and now the rabbits got the gun. And it ain't no fun when the rabbits got the gun. Ain't no fun. The ideas, the thought processes, the things that we go through, when you have a talent that's undeniable and people want to deny you, you just got to resort back to being you. You have to resort back to being the person that you know is this talented, is this phenomenal, is this smart, is this beautiful, is this educated. You have to go back to that. You have to remind yourself to that, because the world will tell you you're not. The world will tell you, hey, nobody listens to your podcast. The world will tell you nobody reads your articles. The world will tell you nobody cares about your opinion. The world will tell you you're not that good. And every time the world tells you that, you've got two options. You can let it seep in. You can start believing it. Or you can go back to you. You can go back to you. Hey, I've got a talent. How do I make it better? I've got a platform. There are 5 people listening. How do I make it 10? I've got a song. 10 people have heard it. How do I make it 20? And you just continue to build that way. You just continue to build that way. You know, I know a lot of coaches. One of the things that I see that young coaches do is they are quick to want to be a head coach. Quick. It's a race. I don't know what the race is for, though. I wish I could go back to the 24-year-old me and go, bruh, You don't got to rush this. You're going to be here for a long time. You don't have to rush this. I took a job at 26 that I never should have taken, but I was thirsty to be a head coach. 2 years into coaching, I had only been coaching for 2 years. There's no way I was ready to be a head coach, but I took that job. And I did some things, but I failed colossally. Why? I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. At 27, I took my second head coaching job. I was a lot more prepared, but I failed colossally. You know why? Because all I was thinking about was my way or the highway. All I was thinking about was my way or the highway. I didn't cultivate relationships. And because I didn't cultivate relationships with the people that I needed to cultivate relationships with in the way that I needed to cultivate them. So when I took over a team that was going to be bad, that needed to be rebuilt, after 2 years when we're not winning, I don't have anybody to back me up. That was a learning. I wasn't ready. I didn't get my next opportunity to be a head coach until I was 40 years old. Didn't get my next opportunity until I was 40. Within that time, I learned so much. Number one, I learned I'm a damn good coach. I'm a really, really good coach. What are my strengths? My strengths are X's and O's. Let me lean into the ability to scheme people up, offensively or defensively. Let me lean into that. X's and O's of Joe's was born from that. You may have seen him on my YouTube channel. Thousands upon thousands of views for somebody that someone once said was not a good coach. Yet thousands upon thousands of people come to my YouTube channel daily to look at and watch as I teach how to scheme up people. So when I got that next head coaching job, I knew what it was. I knew what I was doing. I got it in a pandemic. Didn't work out. 1 year, it's gone. I don't even bat an eye. There's no depression. There's no anything. I know they messed up. I know they messed up, not me. We're in a pandemic. I'm doing the best I can. Never even got a chance to meet people. Barely knew my kids. All of these restrictions, new place. Like all of those things happened. I didn't even bat an eye. I went right back to me. I scheme people up. I'm phenomenal at it. Took a gig. We've been riding ever since. The next job will come if I want it to. The next job will come if I want it to. Because it ain't no fun when the Rapids got the gun. I've got the gun. I know who I am. And that makes it so much easier to be who you need to be when you already know who you are. Aaron Judge did that. He knew who he was. He knew what he was worth. And because he knows who he is, because he knows what he's worth, he can't be swayed by people trying to lowball him, by people trying to make him feel as if he's less than. Don't ever let somebody determine your worth for you. If you believe you are more, then act it. Then say no. If you're in a relationship or if you're trying to be in a relationship with somebody and they tell you they can't give you all their time and you want all their time, guess what? Don't accept part of their time. That's not the best you can do. That's not all you have to give. Find somebody that's willing to give you all if that's what you need. Because once they figure out that you're worth it, the whole dynamic changes. Now you get the opportunity to shoot. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. We do this thing a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree. But whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. And if you're joining me on the YouTube channel, you know what to do. Like, subscribe. Until next time, you know what it is. Peace.